Hello and welcome back to my video where I go through all the different characters from Zombicide Fantasy that I own. Today we are talking about Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Timecrash expansion. What he do and what kind of roles he can fill in the competition. Because he can actually fill quite a bit of different roles. So let's begin by talking about his first skill, Hit and Run. What it does is basically let's see here, just need a zombie. Let's say he's in a zone with a lot of zombies and he managed to defeat one of them. He gets a free movement and slippery, making him able to move out of combat. It also, just if there's one, he could just defeat one zombie and then move, which is a really good skill, and often one I normally will take if I have a very mobility focused combat character in I need a very mobility focused combat character in my session. So yeah, I think Hit and Run is a really good skill for level 1 for him. Moving on from that, if you get into level 3, he have a choice between two. Plus 1 damage melee, it's when he use a melee weapon like his starting weapon. He gets plus 1 damage, so instead of 1 it will deal 2. Or he can gain the power of turtle power 2 for 1. So whenever you use one of these chi that you have 4 of and need to take an action to refill, you normally can choose from one of these turtle powers here, like plus 2 dice, plus 2 dice roll combat, or plus 2 damage. And you can do this once per turn. But what turtle power 2 for 1 does is you can choose 2 of those, which I think it's really cool. Shows that he is like the master of all the turtles skills. And unfortunately, I haven't really had time to test it out how strong you can become with it and what is the true ceiling for this power. But I think it's a really good way to show the idea of him basically being the master of turtles. Then in level 3 he gets plus 1 power damage to combat, and it's kind of like the same to plus 1 damage melee, except that it can be done with everything. So let's say that let's see if I can find out. Do I have a spell? Something like if he has a spell, he also gets plus 1 damage to the spells. So it's just basically an upgraded version, but if you take both of them, he's actually able to come up and be able to deal with the biggest zombies like abominations, which I find really interesting, because it makes it so that he's able to fight the strongest opponents. I really like that. You can also choose between plus 1 roll to the plus 1 to dice roll combat, which basically means that if you roll, let's say 2, you will plus 1 to it, so you actually roll a 3, which is really important because of he hits on a 3. So it basically means unless you roll a 1, you will hit. So late game it can be a really good skill just to ensure that you almost always hits. It also gives the also normally works really well if you get some really good combat power, or combat weapons with a lot of dices, and this is where it normally succeed much more. And at the end he has plus 1 free turtle power, which means that he is able to use one of these skills for free every turn. And I'm just going to check quickly if it's an extra. Nope. It's just you can use it for free once per turn, which is basically meaning that he doesn't need to rely on chi if you choose this one. And it's a free action, so it's free, so it's basically you don't need to rely on your chi to do it. So yeah, while I think his skills is very built on either hitting easily, powering up the turtle powers to a degree that the others more focusing on one aspect of the turtle power, or just using his turtle power for free, I really think it's one of the more interesting idea for characters, and give the idea that he is the sensei. Now his weapon's actually quite interesting too, because it's basically just a cane with hits on a 3 and deal 1 damage, so it's nothing special until you flip it over. This happens if you manage to get an ultimate token, which is, if you have one right next to me, we need to prepare, which is one of these pizza tokens that come with this game. You get Splinter's ultimate cane, which give the ability to shove, which basically means that once per turn, if you're in a zone with other zombies, you can shove them to the side. I'm just going to double check that it is, if it's a free action. One day I'm probably going to have to prepare for this. Yeah, it's a free action, so it basically makes it easy for him to be safe if you, like, say, miss your hit and run strategy. And then it also gets 1 reach, furthering the idea of shove. So let's say that you are in combat with these, you can shove them to the side, and then you can still hit them, poking them down from afar. Of course, only 1 zone from afar. Then he still only have 1 die combat, but if you build him like using a lot of skills, a lot of dices, turtle powers, it makes sense, and also gives him reason to get other weapons, because else this weapon would just be too strong. And of course it has on roll 6, you refill 1 chi. And I really think it's a really good weapon, and also makes it so that he doesn't need to rely on getting 1 free turtle power every single time, if he can refill his chi with combat. Make him a very versatile character in what you need him for. Like if you need him to be able to deal with big zombies and think that hit and run is just such a good ability, or gaining equipment that is very, very strong for him. I think he is one of the more, I won't say strong characters, but one of the more customizable, depending on what the situation and what kind of game you're playing. And yeah, I personally really like Splinter, and I just really like that he has hit and run from the start, giving the idea of him being the ninja. Now of course here we have his model, and you can see it stand exactly like his version, having his cane on the side, and yeah. So yeah, I really enjoy Splinter, and I think in some bigger games it can be, harder games, he can be absolutely clutch to get to the eliminate the zombies and then get away, so acting like the kiter of the team because of hit and run. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed and have a nice day. Bye.